Anyone who's given a thought to the future of the built environment has thought about the increasing necessity of environmental sustainability, especially in major urban centers like New York City, which generally uses more energy than it produces. Hello, and welcome back to our channel Future Planet. In today's video, we're going to talk about New York's insane city of the future in 2060. But before we continue, just take a moment to subscribe to our channel Future Planet for more amazing videos just like this one. And with that, let me jump straight into the future of New York City. With the help of thorough research and analysis, experts can anticipate how America's laws, policies, political philosophies, and social trends can be expected to change. We tend to think of the city of the future as the most advanced city in terms of sustainability, technology, and pioneering measures to protect the citizens. Restoring the city's economic dynamism and creating a post-pandemic, locally prosperous and globally competitive economy will hinge on leveraging the city's growth sector and ensuring that the New Yorkers have the skills that they need to rebuild a thriving, future-focused NYC economy. The city lost almost 900,000 jobs during the initial months of the pandemic and had recovered just over half of those jobs by 2021. Many of these job losses are in sectors that had seen relative weakness prior to the pandemic, including the city's historically important finance and insurance and real estate sectors. The recovery in NYC has so far been an unbalanced one, lagging behind other major US city centers. Designers and governments are increasingly embracing the need for green infrastructure to cope with issues such as climate change and stormwater management. Critical as this is, however, the benefits of nature extend far beyond engineering, a point that must be made loudly and often. People have to be convinced that people need nature in cities and at a scale that will respond effectively to the challenges ahead. Researchers have demonstrated a wide variety of social and economic benefits of urban nature. Faster hospital recoveries, better workplace productivity, improved social cohesion, reduced crime, improved public health, reduced obesity, improved childhood development, better air quality, better urban microclimates, and more. A vital component of life would be monitored and attuned to the needs of every organism, not just humans. Supplies of food and water, our energy and waste, and even our air would be sensibly scrutinized. Thanks to masses of miniaturized low-cost electronic components deployed across the city, communication becomes far easier. New York will grow and adapt to millions of new minds entering it every day. The city would make sure every need is provided for within its borders. Dilapidated buildings would be replaced with vertical agriculture, and new kinds of housing would join cleaner, greener ways to get around the city. What were once streets becoming snaking arteries of livable spaces embedded with renewable energy sources, low-tech green vehicles for mobility, and productive nutrient zones. While all this may sound optimistic, some of the city of tomorrow is already taking shape. New Yorkers should prepare for heat waves, floods, and natural disasters. Climate change will come to New York the same way water boils around one of those mythical frogs. The city will be the same old New York in 2060. People won't be frying eggs on the manhole covers in the summer or riding gondolas around Times Square. But by then, winter will have fewer than 50 days of freezing cold instead of the average 72 that was the norm in the late 20th century. Maybe more serious than the general problem of rising temperatures is the increase in what would currently be called freak events. According to Ben Horton, who researches sea level and environmental change at Rutgers University, New York, might face major storms, but it will almost certainly have to deal with floods. That means those scary photoshopped images of New York with flooded streets are real. Over the next 40 years, New York will either be reshaped by flooding or repeatedly brought to its knees by flooding. Unavoidably, some New Yorkers will drown as a result of climate change, and others will have their belongings destroyed by flooding, because some parts of the New York metro area simply will not be ready to handle the rising water. This future city will still have traffic fumes as long as there are gas-guzzling vehicles plying its streets. But improved technology will enable the populace to steer clear of the most polluted zones. NYC Breathe is a wireless pollution sensor that keeps track of urban contaminants. These sensors are added to trucks, taxis, and automobiles and thus accumulate comprehensive pollution data in real time, all of which is conveniently displayed as a detailed map. But steps are already being taken to make the city help clean its air. Million Trees NYC has a goal of increasing its cosmopolitan woodland by planting many more trees. By planting 1 million trees, we can increase New York's urban forest by an overwhelming 20%, while accomplishing the numerous quality of life advantages that come with them. The city of New York will plant 70% of trees in parks and other public spaces. The other 30% will come from private organizations, homeowners, and community organizations. As New York grows, so does our diversity. Today, New York is the only major American city in which white, black, Hispanic, and Asian populations each comprise at least 10% of the population. And no group makes up a majority. More than 3 million New Yorkers, or 37%, were born outside the United States. And their residents speak more than 200 languages. New York City population is at a record high, as it is projected to surpass 9 million, as New York continues to be a magnet for people searching for opportunity. This is true across the metropolitan region as well. The current regional population of 23 million is expected to swell to over 26 million. New York City is adding more units in larger apartment buildings than ever before. This high-density growth is concentrated in certain neighborhoods such as Long Island City, Hudson Yards, and Flushing. To support this growth, the city has invested billions of dollars in affordable housing, schools, parks, and infrastructure to serve new and existing residents. New York's growing population and strong economy are foundational to meeting our aspirations for the future, and will provide opportunities to improve the well-being of all New Yorkers in the decades to come. To house the city's growing population, the designers say that the new modular timber-based developments could go up in the outer boroughs, with waterfront properties protected from flooding by a border of green space. Buildings could use surface coatings to capture air pollution and self-healing materials to last longer. Half of New York's rooftop space could use solar panels. The other half would go to the community gardens, fertilized with locally composted food waste. Photovoltaic paint, energy harvesting pavement, and other surfaces could create more power. New York's unenviable position as an epicenter of a global pandemic casts considerable doubt about its long-term durability. As a thriving center of American finance, culture, and the arts, the city lost numerous lives, suffered an exodus of residents, and many business establishments shuttered permanently. Tourism plunged, unemployment spiked, and the severity of the economic contraction was unlike any New York has seen before. The future of New York looks a lot like the future of America. Science fiction books and fantasy movies have long tried to predict the future, creating elaborate worlds filled with strange creatures and bizarre technology. But understanding of the future isn't just limited to science fiction. There are entire organizations and institutions filled with futurists and technology experts, whose job it is to analyze trends to determine where society is heading next. Circumstances can change a great deal over almost 4 decades, after all, and tomorrow's constraints might look very different than today's. The world is changing faster than we think, and the way we learn things and what we learn should be changed. With that, our video has come to an end here. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel Future Planet and hit the bell icon for more intriguing content. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.